So we are doing chapter 23. We will start with page number 87. The first question on page 87. So the previous question, if you recall what we completed, the previous, again, I'm repeating, page 86, last question. The very fact of your experiencing your own world implies duality inherent in all experience. Verbally, yes, but your words do not reach me. Mine is a non-verbal word. In your word, the unspoken has no existence. In mine, words and their contents have no beings. In your word, nothing stays. In mine, nothing changes. My word is real, while yours is made of dream. Continuation. Yet we are talking. The talk is in your word. In mine, there is eternal silence. My silence sinks. My emptiness is full. I lack nothing. You cannot know my word until you are there. Now, this is important to understand. He says, you cannot know my word until you are there. And that's the reality. We read all this, what Maharaj says, and what is non-duality. Up to our experience and realization, up to then, this is merely words. It's only a play of your mind. We may understand intellectually, but it does not become our experience. Until you experience that non-duality, you experience that you are the Atman, you are the consciousness, you are the Brahman. And not only you, but everything else that we can perceive, that mind can think, is same Brahman, same Atman, consciousness, energy. So, very simple, he says, you cannot know my word until you are there. So, until we are in that word, we have to believe what masters have experienced. It seems as if you alone are in your word. How can you say alone or not alone when words do not reach, do not apply? Of course, I am alone for all I am. You see? That I am, you can say alone, because that I am is all. In other words, one is all and all is one. All that we can perceive is that same one. And that one is appearing as all. All that our sense organs can perceive, our mind can think of. Everything is the same. Do you ever come into our world and going to me? These in our words, I am. Whence am I to come? From where to go? There's no question of I am in word or not. I am eternal. I'm omnipresent. So there's no question of coming and going. You see, this is important to understand. When we say the Atman, the consciousness, exists everywhere, within me and everywhere. So where is the question of movement of that? There is no movement. It's immovable, eternal, omnipresent, everlasting. No beginning, no end. That's what he says. That's what the non-duality calls. But in that context, think of the situation where a person, the body dies, somebody dies. So what is the missing from person alive and person dead? What is it? Obviously, person, when he stopped breathing, he died. So what happens is the breathing is what keeps the body, our presence alive. It's just the breathing? Or is there anything other than breathing? What allows breathing to happen? What energy enables breathing to happen? That energy. So apparently it is the breathing which dies. But breathing is only appearance or experience. The one which allows breathing to happen is the eternal, is ever present. If it is ever present, then where is the question? Then what dies? Who dies? Because if it is immovable, is always present, omnipresent, then it is everywhere. Whether it is alive or dead, it is still there. So what dies? What is the life force that leaves the body? Think about it. Or write it down and think about it. What's the link between the person alive and person dead? Is it merely breathing? Or is heartbeats? Or sense organs stop functioning? Or is there anything other than that? Keeping in mind the fundamental fact that the Atman, the consciousness, is omnipresent. It's everywhere. It's immovable. It does not have to move in time and space because it is everywhere. So if it is everywhere, immovable, always present, then what goes out of the body? If it is immovable, there is no question of moving out or in of the body. So what? I will not talk about it now. I want all of you to think about it till next time. So you understand the question that you need to contemplate. And same thing is he talks about, do you ever come into our world? And he says, what is coming and going to me? To me means, who is me? Consciousness. These again are words. I am. Whence am I to come from and where to go? There is no place to go. There is no time to come or go. Of what use is your word to me? You should consider my word. Examine it critically, and suddenly, one day, you will find yourself in mine. You see? So why should we pursue this spirituality? Why should we understand this non-dualism, or for that matter, any other philosophy on spirituality? What is the purpose or the use of knowing this eternal truth? What is the purpose of self-realization? Of what use is your word to me? The answer is, you should consider more closely your own word. Yeah? Please consider closely. The word is duality, pain and pleasure. happiness and unhappiness, good and bad. It's full of duality, isn't it? That's our world. When you say a close watch on this, then you wonder, what is it that is good and why one should avoid what is not good? And that leads you to examine the other side, the other world, the world which is always bliss. So that's what Maharaj says. You should consider more closely your own world, examine it critically, and suddenly, one day you will find yourself in my world. What do we gain by it? You gain nothing. That's very important. You gain nothing by knowing or experiencing. What does it mean, gain nothing? You rather lose everything. What do you lose? False impression, ignorance. So Maharaj says, you gain nothing. You leave behind what is not your own and find what you have never lost, your own being. Yeah. So this is very common question. Most literature mentions this. By pursuing spirituality or following this, the non-dualism, what do we gain? The fact is we gain nothing. Instead, we lose. What do we lose? We lose desires. We lose attachments. We lose sense gratification. We lose all false impressions. We lose ego, fear. And when you start living it, what remains is pure being, is pure awareness, pure consciousness. And that's what Maharaj is mentioning here, that there is, you gain nothing. You leave behind what is not your own. Find what you have never lost. So when we realize all these so-called relationships, achievements, success, fulfillment, all what we claim, our labels and tags, are not ours. It is there in life as an experience for time being. And then you realize, what is it with you all the time? Your being, your awareness, your consciousness. Yeah. All other things, they come and go. There is a limitation of time and space and causing. All three affects time and space. But there is something which is beyond all three. And that is what he says. You leave behind what is not your own. Find what you have never lost, your being. Who is the ruler of your world? There are no ruler and ruled here. There is no duality whatsoever. You are merely projecting your own ideas. Your scriptures and your gods have no meaning here. This is extremely radical statement. Unless we understand in right sense, it could create controversy. So who is the ruler of your world? Which world? He's questioning the world of that world where I am one alone and I am all. All is one is all. World. He's asking, who is the ruler? So answer Maharaj says, there are no ruler and ruled here. There is no duality whatsoever. That means there is no duality in the sense, there is no inferiority or superiority, there is no others, there is no ruler, or no one is being ruled. All is one. So there is no question of other, there is no question of ruler or ruled. There is no duality whatsoever. You are merely projecting your own ideas. Your scriptures and your gods have no meaning here. So, in other words, the scriptures and gods are in the manifestation, are in this universe that we can experience, that our body and our senses can experience. But that which enables the body and mind and sense to function, that power, that energy, that consciousness, for that consciousness, there are no gods, there are no scriptures, there is no wisdom. Why? It is what it is. It is one and one alone, I am. And if it is I am that pervades everything, there is no question of one is ruled or one is ruler. So he says, in my world, no one is a ruler, no one is ruled. Your script, your gods have no meaning in here. The reason is the gods, as we understand, as we call, are the gods with name, shape, form, who are the supreme high evolved soul. When we say evolved soul, the soul which are self-realized. Although they do not need to reincarnate, they choose to reincarnate for the welfare of people who are ignorant, people like us. That's why they come. They take birth. All these God, all these self-realized souls. But in the eternity, in that frequency, there is no God. There is no other. There is no ruler. It's a high frequency or energy field, the space, that consciousness don't exist. So still you have a name and shape, display consciousness and activity. So in being only, nothing else. You people are rich with your ideas, possession of quantity and quality without ideas. When you read Upanishads, or even if you read Bhagavad Gita, all this what we are reading here derive from that. Yeah, Maharaj is referring directly or indirectly to all the scriptures of different Upanishads and Bhagavad Gitas have mentioned when Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna, the highest wisdom that he part with is what it is in different words is explained by Maharaj. So when we read and when we do contemplation, you get linked to this other literature, and you realize, if you have read about it, if you have followed it, that this supreme knowledge or Gyan cannot be different. It's one. It's just a different method of explaining or different words that you use. So he's here. He says, you have name and shape, display consciousness and activity. Yeah, the Maharaj says, in your world, I appear so. I appear in this material world, in this manifestation, the body-mind appears, it performs, it functions merely as an appearance, merely as an act. Yeah. In my world, that means in that frequency, in the level of consciousness, I have being only. I am being, I am. Period. I am. I am. That means the existence. When we, in our prayer, we say at the end, thank you for the existence. That's because of this. The existence is so significant because in this existence, everything exists. Existence does not mean the name, form, shape of this manifestation, but the space, the ether. Yeah, that fifth element of these five gunas or five elements. Ether, space, is the existence. It is that, in that, everything manifests, everything happens, appears, disappears. Everything is in that space. So he says, in my world, there is no duality. I have being only, nothing else. You people are rich in with your ideas of possession, of quantity and quality. I am completely without ideas. Yeah, there is no question of quantity, quality, and any discrimination in that pure consciousness, in this simple existence. It is what it is. In my world, there is a disturbance, distress, and despair. You seem to be living on some hidden income while I must slave for living. See, this is such a practical question. He says, I understand what you're talking, but in my world, I exist in my world, and in my world, I have to work, I have to earn to sustain myself. And so he said, you seem to be living on some hidden income, while I must slave for a living. Do as you please. You are free to leave your world for mine. How is the crossing done? Yeah, how do I go to different world, other world, your world? See your world as it is, not as you imagine it to be. Discrimination will lead to detachment. Detachment will ensure right action. Right action will build the inner bridge to your real being. Action is a proof of earnestness. Do what you are told diligently and faithfully, and all obstacles will dissolve. Yeah. Do you get it? Let's read it again. Question is, how is the crossing done? What is the crossing? To evolve from believing and accepting this world as real, to gain that experience and realization that there is a supreme bliss, Sat Chit Anand, existence, consciousness, bliss. To realize that, how is it possible? So he says, see your world as it is. First and foremost, we must know our world and our limitation of our world. Yeah. See your world as it is, not as you imagine it to be. Yeah. We generally feel that this hatred, this situation in the world is not okay. It must be a peace. There must not be hatred. There must be love. We try to talk in duality. So Maharaj said, no, accept what it is. Understand the word, your word as it is. without making judgment. What is right, what is wrong. Yeah. So he says, see your word as it is and not as you imagine it to be. Discrimination will lead to detachment. When you know for sure in duality, we live in the world of duality. When we know what is right and what is wrong, our tendency is to follow what is right. Correct? So that is the use, that is the power of our discrimination, our buddhi, our intellect. So discrimination will lead to detachment. Automatically you get detached to all these qualities which are full of negativity, hatred, and all which is opposite of goodness. There is a detachment that develops. Detachment will ensure right action. Yeah, it's very simple, exactly. When you know what is right, you will pursue the activity what is right. Because you use the power of discrimination, you have followed the path of righteousness. And when you have evolved to that path, your action will follow accordingly. You will not indulge in something you like what is right, and therefore you will not take action which is not right. Simple. Right action will build the inner bridge to your real being. When you continuously follow what is considered to be righteous in terms of your activity, physical activity, your mental activity, even your thoughts and emotions have to follow the righteousness, what you perceive as right. That discrimination brings detachment from what is not right, what is not good. And then you will involve in taking action, physically, mentally, to follow what is right. And that will, according to Maharaj says, that will develop a bridge to your inner being. Action is a proof of earnestness. Do what you are told diligently and faithfully, and all obstacles will dissolve. This is Maharaj's own experience. His master simply told him one sentence: you are that consciousness. You are that energy. You are the Atman, or Brahman, different names. And he totally surrendered and believed his Guru's advice or Guru's word and followed it up. He simply, without any point of doubt, he did not raise question. He did not have this so-called question in his mind that is this what my Guru says is right or wrong? Yeah. So in other words, many places, many people talk about it. The more you are educated, more you claim to be intelligent, you try to question too many times to too many people, that indicates that you possess certain knowledge and you're trying to challenge someone who is advising you. So you raise the question. Raising question, I have mentioned earlier, have two things. One, as a genuine seeker, where you surrender to your teacher, to your master, and very humbly ask your doubt, your question. But there is other way, that displays that I'm intellectual and I have questions in my mind. Yeah, and that also reflects your ego. It reflects ego of you being intellect. And that's how you forward or put forward the question. Action is proof of earnestness. Do what you are told diligently and faithfully, and all obstacles will dissolve. Question: are you happy? In your word, I would be most miserable. To wake up, to eat, to talk, to sleep again. What a bother. For self-realization person to continue this activity of mundane activity that we are doing is painful. And that's why he says, in your word, I would be most miserable. Because what do? We take our body and mind. How do we do it? We wake up, eat, talk, sleep again, or indulge in activity that we have to perform for our survival. When we say our survival, whose survival? The survival of this body and mind, or intellect, or ego. Think of it, all that we are doing is for what? For who? How much are we doing for our own self? Self, when I say, I mean capital self, the Atman, the soul. What do we do? Hardly anything. All that we do, all the time, is for what? To keep our body healthy, happy, to keep our mind satisfied, detached with the desires and attachments, greed. Yeah. All activity ends up in satisfying our needs, or rather wants, not needs. Wants of our body, mind, ego, intellect. In order to do something for yourself, capital self, consciousness, what do we need to do? Among all what we are doing, continue doing what you are doing. However, all the time being aware, being conscious that I'm simply performing my role. I'm acting here as an actor, performing my role. I have no expectations, no attachments, no desires. When one is able to do that, one is serving the self. One is trying to understand the self. One is trying to discover or uncover the real self. Even if you don't do any meditation, so to say. What is meditation? When we say meditation, generally, what do we understand by meditation? Fold your legs, sit upright, close your eyes, have a little smile on face, and sit in stillness, hopefully. But that's not meditation. Even concentration of, we keep saying, concentrate on japas or concentration of whatever chanting or whatever that we do, even that is not meditation. It is the pointer to what is called meditation. What happens when we do? Do we really get a peace when we do the meditation? People talk that we're doing meditation to have a peace of mind. It's wrong. Meditation happens only when you have peace of mind, not other way around. So in order, and that meditation is the meditation according to the literature, our wisdom, our saints and rishis who have experienced it. Meditation happens only when you are at peace. Meditation happens only when you are in love, acceptance. When you accept everything as it is, accepting your own self, accepting every circumstances that surrounds you, that happens to you, you accepting it. And accepting it with smiling face and love, only then you have peace of mind. And when you have peace of mind, you don't even have to sit with eyes closed. Whatever you do becomes meditation. And that's called meditative state. So is what Maharaj says here. Are you happy? He says, in your word, I would be most miserable. To wake up, to eat, to talk, to sleep again, what a brother. So you do not want to live even? To live, to die, what meaningless words are these? When you see me alive, I am dead. When you think me dead, I am alive. How muddled up you are. This is our last question answer. This you need to think till you become next Saturday. He says, so you do not want to live even? Maharaj says, to live, to die, what a meaningless words are these? When you see me alive, I am dead. When you think me dead, I am alive. How muddled up you are. Think of this answer and what does it mean to you? We will start next time from the same question, and I will ask all of you to give me your, whatever your impression, your thought on it. You have one more week to read, reread, think about it, ask your friends, ask anybody, what does it mean?
Hariom Acharya ji.
Hariom.
Acharya ji, one thing that we are reading, I will just, what is right and what is wrong, that we are not able to decide what to do, and that is right, that is wrong. In many ways, we think it is right, but it may be wrong. That's a question comes right and wrong. This arises many times. What to do?
There is no answer for it, because as long as we are in the world of duality, this word here, there is something right and something wrong. Now, there's something what you do is right for you, but I do not do it. I cannot do it. So for me, it is wrong. But it is not that activity or that object which is right and wrong. It is your perception and my perception. So in my perception, it's wrong. But in your perception, it may be right. Anything, any example you can take. Any example. For instance, if one is accustomed to eat meat, fish, or non-vegetarian, for that person, it is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong about it. But the person who has never eaten it and do not have a taste for it, it is wrong. He cannot. But that eating is by itself, nothing is right and wrong. It is what it is. But in your perception, one it is right, for another it is wrong. It will remain. Because this is the world of duality. We live in this world. That exactly we are reading today. diligently understand your own word first, as Maharaj says. Is whatever that we do, does it evolve you? Does it help you to know who are you in real sense? Or is it just that you, like he says, we wake up in the morning, we do our whatever morning chore and our usual mundane activity, drink, eat, sleep, and that's it. Day is over, next day start, do the same thing again. Is this the life? So
That
when
we have
you,
read, Acharya, we have read in last book that food must be fresh. It may be veg, non-veg, whatever. That's in that last book we have studied. So that's
yeah,
there because living things in that you can plant is also living thing. As we are studying
yeah,
science also.
yeah,
So that's also there. So in that
yeah,
is it a sign you are eating a meat, you are doing a
yeah,
pap. Like these people are thinking that that's the wrong.
yeah,
You can say to living here in the world, we are matlab consuming to sustain our
yeah,
body to healthy and that all things. But many things we are going beyond that ulta pulta thinking, wrong thinking, but then we are disturbing our life. So my question always comes how to live it. So may हमेशा that's my beginning from with you also. Why not that पूरा word ऐसा? Because देखिए food is also there and somewhere हमारी that's vegetarians is not there, so you have to go for that non-veg also to live that our life. So that is there, but it must be fresh. As that earlier books, I am understand that in whole books I have could understand that food must be fresh to eat. That's all. It may be veg, non, whatever you feel. That is good. So it is not a sign and all this. So, but again, that comes what is good, what is bad. That's we just Maharaji also giving questions, right things. What is this? This again questions. So if we leave that one parameters all the world, it is not possible also. But it may be possible. ऐसा आना चाहिए. That's we all live in a good life. Always I think about it. It will come also. I feel like that.
yeah. So the food was, as an example, I mentioned that eating this or that is, for one person it is right, it's perfectly fine. For other person it may not be right or wrong. Um, you see, another example, when you believe in something, yeah, you believe in particular deity or God or guru, or even your grandparents or your parents or your grandparents, you respect, you admire, you worship, whatever, whether it's parents, grandparents, guru, God, whoever. So what happens is, if I have faith in that, I would try to have it in front of me all the time in the form. So usually people have photos, images, a frame in the hanging on the wall, and every time you sort of do the prayer or you try to wish that you get the quality of that parents or that guru or that God. So for you, that photo, that face on the photo means a lot, isn't it? Now, in most cases, we may not even have encountered directly with that person. For example, your grandparent, grandfather, grandmother, whoever, or your God, or the guru that you follow. You may not have met him. You just have a photo and you believe in it. You have complete trust, faith, and you respect. So for you, that photo is of great value. You respect it. But someone who is visiting your home and come and ask, what is this? Whose photo is this? For that person, that photo has no value because he has no connection with that image. For that person, it is valueless where for you, it is of highest value. Now, my photo itself is neither valuable nor invaluable. It is what it is. But for your impression, your mind conditioning, your experience, it is valuable. For somebody else who does not know this, has no value. So right and wrong is similar. It's individual. What suits you, what feels you correct is right for you, but that's not common for everybody. So this right and wrong in this duality will happen. We have to transcend that duality. We have to have this thinking of that all these things that exist is time bound, has a limited time period. And whatever is limited time and space cannot be real. It's only appearance, it's only temporary. So what is our permanent? Everything that we do, bottom line is only one thing: to be happy. Do you do anything that makes you unhappy? Nobody does anything ever to make oneself unhappy. The bottom line of everything, every thought, words, action, the bottom line is to gain happiness. Is this true? Yes, it is true. But that happiness, is it everlasting? That happiness is common for all? No. Answer is no. So our simple question is, if I want happiness, permanent happiness, all the time, no matter whether today I am 20 years, next time 30, 40, 70, 80 years, with age, your object of happiness changes. Your mind will have different status. But that happiness is temporary. Our goal is to have happiness which is permanent. And that, what is the source? Where do you find that permanent happiness? That's spirituality. That's where you ask the question to yourself, what will give me permanent happiness? That's all. That's what Maharaj says. Ask questions. Does this activity, what we do, brings me permanent happiness? If it is, then do it. Then okay. But if it is not permanent happiness, then you are only performing role. You're only doing for that short period of time. Then again you change. You have to find out that by doing nothing, you get that permanent happiness. When we say doing nothing, it means discovering your own real self, where you have to do nothing. You only have to give up everything. You start giving up. That when I say give up, I don't mean that you run away to Himalaya. Give up means detachment. Detachment. You stay where you are. Do what you are doing. But just for the sake of doing it, because it's your role. It's just your role. Chapter 2 in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Do you what you have to do to the best of your ability, expecting no result and reward. Whatever reward comes, accept that as my prasad. If that is your attitude, that's it. There is nothing right and wrong.
Acharya, but why still happiness? I'm saying it could be just, accepting as a drashta, and because once you have happiness, when you think of happiness, then there's a duality, you'll have sorrow also. When you start, saying some, then accept and do whatever, no happiness or no. Because once you will have happiness, automatically have a sorrow also, because of duality, isn't it?
Yeah. So it is not some object or some activity that will give you happiness. It is the happiness that makes the object and activity a happy experience. Think of that. It is your happiness, which is your nature, which is your original nature. All of us, by nature, we are happy. Remember that. That's the truth. Yeah. If we stick to that eternal happiness, our original nature, all our activity, all the object that we interact or our sense organs perceive gratification becomes happy. Other way around, if you think by indulging certain activity, by gratification of senses, you will get happiness. Yes, you may get it, but it will be short time.
But Acharya ji, that's always come in my mind. That's one day I only think that in Adhyatmic Gyan, that's very, very necessary to bring a one only gods. Or that's the thought due to God also, yes, you have told by that some parents is worshipping that, is worshipping that. So that all created problems on पूरे world में. Not I'm talking only in India. We should मतलब all the world. एक nature एक ऐसा आ जाए कि भाई only वो supreme power is the one. Now we are talking about that one day also by beyond that conscious unconscious there is a one also point. Oh, that is super power. वो that's power को understand करने के लिए हमें that's a matter that message goes to each and every person of the world. Or that should be focus. Then that can be brings a permanent happiness to ourselves and to the world.
Correct. You are right.
That's I'm feeling like that. My view is that that's supreme power. That's now that we are don't go temple, don't go any, but some power is there. और उसी पावर को that's we are believing in that way or all or the not myself yourself. So that will not come any in कोई problem ही नहीं होगी. No करल. That will be peace of mind, everything happiness. I feel like that. That's my view. I don't know.
You are right. No, you are right. And as you said, your wish is that everybody in the world should pursue that and follow that, and there will be a peace and happiness for everybody. Forget the world, forget others. Let us start by ourselves.
Yes.
Are we in peace? Am I in peace? Am I happy? Ask that. What brings me happiness? What brings me peace? Do I feel loved? Am I feeling loved? Am I in position to love everybody as it is? When you are in position to love everything and everybody as it is, then you reciprocate, then it comes back to you. You are being loved as you are. Then you have peace of mind. Then you have happiness. It all starts with one, then it spreads. Then you, like you're talking to us, you start talking to everybody. You spread your knowledge, your higher knowledge, your gyan, your experiences. That's how it spreads. Now, some of people may take it, some may not take it. That's their karma. That is their own karma. You see in Bhagavad Gita, why only Arjuna, why only Pandavas, where Krishna was with them and not with others? Karma. Lord Krishna could not change the other family, because it was their karma. They had to undergo that. So ultimately, all begins, the self-realization begins with oneself. Then it spreads. Remember, right in the beginning, we spoke one thing. When you have some knowledge, what we're talking about, right now it's only information for most of us. Convert that information into a good knowledge. And that good knowledge, contemplate on it. Think about it. Make that as clarity. It should become absolutely clear to you. You're convinced about that knowledge. The clarity should happen. And with that clarity can happen only when you have developed a purity of your thought, words, and action. So purity and activity, clarity happens simultaneously. And that becomes your wisdom. That's it. Once it becomes your wisdom, everything else will happen. Once you are that person of wisdom, that energy, that wisdom will radiate. Every thought, word, and action has vibration. And that vibration goes in the cosmos, in the universe, in this space. And the people will receive it, those who are in that tune. You want to listen to particular music, you go on changing video, and you the channel that suits you. You pick up that channel and you listen to that music or that whatever show. Similarly, your vibration will spread, and those who are in tune with your vibration will receive it. Those who are not, it is their karma.
You are right.
All right, let's do our prayer. Sato ma sakamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy.
Thank you,
Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acharya ji.
Thank you.
Wish you a
Thank you,
nice
Acharya
weekend
ji.
Please
ahead.
remember to find time.
Thank you.
Please find time to read this, what the last question. I want to
Yes,
start
Acharya
that
ji.
next time. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Weekend.